AITA for threatening to move out unless the rent is split 5 ways instead of the current 3? I, 27M. Live with 2 roommates S. 25F. And P. 28M. It's a 4-bedroom house and very spacious. We wanted to get a 4th roommate but the Rona came and we decided against it. I have the largest room so I pay 40% of the rent and S and P both pay 30%. Mind you, the size difference is quite minimal, so I have been feeling a bit annoyed about paying more for a while. Regardless, the agreement was that once we got a 4th roommate, rent would be split 25% each. Despite paying a bit more, it's still a great deal though. The past year has been a mess for a lot of people, as we all know. S ended up getting her hours cut, taking a rather drastic pay cut, and P was like me. Fine. However, P doesn't make a lot, so lives paycheck to paycheck and often struggles to make rent in the best of times. The younger brother of S has been one of the people impacted most. He lost his job and had nowhere to go. S and her brother are not in contact with their family for whatever reason. A few months ago she begged me and P if her brother could move into the spare room for a couple of weeks. We felt really bad, so we agreed on the condition it was only a couple of weeks. A month later something similar happened with P's girlfriend. She moved back in with her parents but has been over at our place pretty much 6 days a week. She sleeps here, eats here, has loads of her stuff here. My point is, she essentially moved in and stays at her parents once a week. S' brother has still not found a job. Not for lack of trying. So has not yet moved out, but it has been a couple of months at this point, not a couple of weeks. I have spoken to them about it multiple times by now and there is still no solution, and I am still paying more rent. So I am essentially paying 40% rent while I have 4 roommates who have 60% split between them. Since they did not come up with a solution and the lease is running out, I called everyone together, sat them down and bluntly stated that if they want the lease renewed, that I am paying 20% and they can split the 80% between them. IDC what way or I am moving out. Panic ensued. S immediately begged me not to go through with it. P said he couldn't possibly afford it. S' brother just kept apologizing and P's girlfriend kept trying to pull the "I don't even live here" card. But the "well, your GF is over a lot too." My girlfriend sleeping over now and again is apparently comparable to her never leaving. I put my foot down and told them to figure it out. The thing is, I feel pretty terrible about it. I consider my roommates friends by now. S' brother is actually a good dude, just a bit simple mixed with the Rona, which is why he struggles to find work. The only one I am not fond of is P's girlfriend, lol. And I can easily afford rent too. Should I be more accommodating here? Am I being too harsh? In other words, am I NTA, your lease is up and not renewing with these roommates is not an asshole thing. But it sounds like you know that you're trying to get blood out of a turnip. It sounds like these folks don't have the money and that they don't have the capability to pay what would be reasonable for you. Since this is an end of lease situation, you aren't moving out. You are not moving back in again. NTA. But I would suggest moving on. Simply put, how do you enforce the new split? If these folks don't have the money, someone is on the hook for the rent under the new lease. If you're on the lease, that means you. So I can see a scenario of them saying, well, we don't have the money, we have to keep the split. Basically, you're trying to squeeze blood out of a diamond. Based on the responses you got, you can see that they had no intentions of finishing a fair solution. At the end of the day, you're not responsible for these adults having housing. It sounds like you've been a good friend for months. But empathy can only go on for so long. NTA. You're their sugar daddy. One person is paying nearly half the rent while 4 others enjoy the run of the house. I understand the pandemic is hard on a lot of people. But you are paying for nearly half a house and getting to enjoy only 1/5 of a house. Crowd-wise. They should offer to pay their share while the 2 extra people are crowding your space. NTAEVER for standing up for yourself. As someone pointed out, you gave them an option and explained the end result. As for your roommate's girlfriend, they both know she essentially has moved in with him and is using the home and utilities as often as the 2 other paying residents. So that is a moot point for her to even attempt to pursue. In a 4-bedroom with 4 occupants, you should be paying 25%. If it's the size of the room that's making them pay more, offer to switch. At least you warned them. But it sounds like the GF can just move out and then you have no excuse for wanting it split 5 ways. Unless I'm missing something. NTA. I understand you think of these people as friends. But if they're really friends, they should be able to handle a difficult conversation like this and be willing to compromise with you to a degree. It just sounds like they want you to give in for their benefit and not a real compromise where everyone can be happy. P's GF is Ta because if she's there 6 days a week, she lives there. It's BS that she suddenly doesn't when pointed out. I personally would just move out and move on. This isn't your fault. While I don't think you're the asshole by any means, you have definitely opened a can of worms for yourself. Say they agree to your terms. Now P's girlfriend officially lives there, which means she will likely move in a lot more of her belongings and have a say in roommate matters. That means the numbers are not in your favor. So you can easily find yourself in a 4-against-1 scenario. You've also put a target on your girlfriend, as they will now be paying very close attention to how often she is over and likely make a fuss about that. You're definitely NTA. But I think it's in your best interest to just move out once the lease ends to save yourself a lot of trouble. They're not your friends, they're using you to save money on rent. That much is clear from your story. Either enforce the 20% or leave them to deal with their own messes. NTA. Don't sign another lease with them. There is no clear resolution in sight. This situation will get progressively worse. NTA. You communicated clearly that was the extent of your responsibility. NTA. It sounds like you maybe could have been gentler. But you aren't an ass for only wanting to pay your share. A compromise, if you want to keep living with them, might be going 30/30ths, 30/10ths. I assume the brother is getting unemployment. So if he chipped in 10% and then maybe did more around the house, that would make things more fair until he could find work. As for the GF, and yours as well, just come up with an agreement to a number of nights, days maximum that a friend or significant other can stay over. Nah. Why is everyone calling them assholes? Shit is hard right now. Seems the little brother is trying really hard to get a job. It's a fucking nightmare out there right now. There is literally just nothing. Not even fast food is hiring. NTA. If I was you, I would just move out. They are not going to pay their fair share. Please throw us an update as things progress. NTA. You are subsidizing their living situation. I would move on. By subsidizing them, you are taking away from yourself in more ways than one. You need a fair and equitable living situation. This is probably putting an unneeded mental burden. The 3 of you could have been doing 33.33%. With only a few cents difference to make up for. This entire time face with raised eyebrow. Info: how often does your girlfriend sleep over exactly? What does every now and again mean? Nah. Except for P's GF and PA bit 2. You don't owe them anything at all. Maybe if you feel like it, you could rent something different with S and her brother. But it does not seem like you can find something that would work out for all three of you. NTA: having the largest room should come with some increased percentage. However, it seems like you have been considerate of giving tune if it has been months. Depending on location, unemployment, stimulus, and food stamps should help, and you do not need to be an additional supplement. NTA: you literally have zero reason to sign another lease. Other than maybe wanting to be nice. But you've already been doing that for months. If you can absolutely afford to live on your own, why sacrifice that peace of mind to shack up with friends who aren't considerate of how nice you have already been? They now think you're being unfair somehow. Oh, and the only one who gets where you're coming from, Lil Bro, has been living rent-free for all those months anyway. At least he's apologetic, but damn lol, please leave the sinking ship. Moving out doesn't have to mean the end of your friendship, but it sounds expensive as hell being their friend. I didn't read through all the comments, but here is my solution that I utilized when I had roommates who had SOs sharing their rooms. Divide the rent between hash of bedrooms plus common space. TL, DR, OP, S, and brother each owe 24%, whereas P owes 28%. Breakdown. So you have 4 bedrooms plus common space equals 5 units at 20%. Because there are 5 people, divide the 1 common space by 5 people. So each person is responsible for 4% of the common space. OP has 1 bedroom, 20%, with responsibility of 4% of common space equals 24% OP rent responsibility. Same for S and brother because they both have their own rooms and also share common space. P and PGF share 1 bedroom, 20%, with 2 people allocation of common space. 8% equals 28% P rent responsibility. This solved the debate over whether it was strictly bedroom use, or if the rest of the house was included. Bathrooms, living room, kitchen.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.